Hello students, our today's topic is errors. Let us start with least count error. Now what is least count error? Least count error is the error which is due to the instrument's resolution. For example, we have vernier calipers. In vernier calipers, the least count of this vernier calipers is 0.01 centimeters, as we know. What is least count? First of all, least count is the lowest value which we can measure with this instrument. So the lowest value which we can measure with this instrument is 0.01 centimeters, and that is called least count. Now if we are measuring something smaller than this value, smaller than 0.01 centimeter, then this instrument will give us error in the measurement. So that error is called least count error, which is due to the resolution of the instrument. That error is called least count error. So now next is absolute error. This was least count error. Now absolute error. Absolute error, to understand the absolute error, let us suppose that we are taking one reading from some instrument or anything. It can be a measuring rod also, or it can be a weighing machine also. Let us suppose that we are taking readings from that, and let us say that the first reading we call it as alpha 1, and second reading we took, let us call that alpha 2. So like that we are taking number of readings, and if we take the sum of those readings, and if we are taken n readings, so let us take the sum of those readings and then divide it by n. That is called mean of those readings, alpha mean. So we have taken the sum of those total readings divided it by n, which is total number of readings, and we call it as alpha mean. Now this sum of readings can be written as we know, this can be written as in terms of summation. I is equal to 1 to n alpha I divided by n. So this alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3, alpha n, instead of writing like this, we have written it like this in the form of summation. I is equal to 1 to n means total number of readings from 1 to n, alpha I divided by n. So this is the average of the readings, or mean of the arithmetic mean of the total readings. Now the magnitude of the difference between the individual measurement and the true value of the quantity is called the absolute error. Now we assume that this is a true value when we have taken the mean values of all the readings we have taken. So we assume that this is a true value. So the difference between this first reading and true value is called the absolute error. Difference between second reading and this true value is called the absolute error of the second reading. So absolute error of the first reading will be, and that absolute error is written as delta alpha 1 first reading. Absolute error will be difference between alpha 1 and this mean value. Difference between alpha 1 minus alpha mean. Similarly, absolute error of the second reading will be value of second reading minus true value of the reading, which is mean value of the readings. Similarly, alpha n can be written as alpha n minus alpha mean. Now if we take the magnitude of this absolute error, in case of absolute error we are not taking the sign of the absolute error, as we know that here alpha 1 can be larger than alpha mean, it can be smaller than alpha mean also. If it is larger than alpha mean, then fine, it's positive. But if this value is lower than alpha mean, then it's negative. But we are not taking the negative value, we are just taking the magnitude, means we are just taking the difference between these two values. Doesn't matter if this value is larger than this value alpha mean, or this value is lower than this. We just want to know the difference. So in that case, when we are not taking the sign, we are just taking the magnitude. We write it like this. The magnitude is written like this: delta alpha. So it can be alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3, whatever it is. That absolute error is taken in the form of magnitude only. So the magnitude of the difference between individual value and mean value or true value, its magnitude, this is called the absolute error. This is called absolute error. Next is relative error. Next is relative error. Relative error is ratio of delta alpha mean divided by alpha mean. Means mean value of the errors, absolute errors. Delta alpha mean is the mean value of the absolute errors divided by mean value of all the readings. So this is called relative error, and percentage error is just the percentage of relative error. Percentage error is just the percentage of relative error, which is delta alpha mean divided by alpha mean multiplied by 100. So this is percentage error. So that's all about errors today. We have learned about least count error, about absolute error, about relative error, and about percentage error.